By now, most of the country, probably most of the world, has heard about the massacre of 11, 10 black people in the Tops Friendly Market in Buffalo, New York, the other day, shortly. My thoughts on that are one, I'm not surprised. These forces are out there in the world. They're no different. By the way, was a this was a young man, young adult, white male, um, and had a manifesto. And what's important to know was that he was started seriously planning to do this in January. In January, so this and it's important to understand this. With people that do this kind of domestic terrorism, focused on racial or religious people, whether it's the guy that did the Jews or whether it was the guy that sat in a prayer circle in a black church and then killed them all, or this, or whether it's politically motivated, and this is also politically motivated. I'll get back to that. Like the guy in Norway who killed all of those young children who were being educated in their political system because he didn't think that that was correct. These people, oh, wait, there's another guy. His name was Hitler. He had a manifesto, Mein Kampf, required reading for history in a lot of places. People who do these kind of things, um, they're not deranged. Okay, so don't get that twisted. They're not mentally ill. They are politically motivated to take action. Now, where that motivation comes from, it doesn't matter. But there are people out there who do these things. Now, the guy that did the shooting in Las Vegas, he planned that for a year, and then he took the coward's way out and shot himself. This kid um, did not want to have death, suicide by cop. He has a story to tell, and we got this fucked up press that is they're salivating, waiting to tell the story. Now, what is the message that we have to have out of this? One, I always say the world is not evil, but there's evil in the world, and there's no putting that genie back in the bottle. This kid lived in the state of New York, or at least he traveled from within the state of New York. So he either purchased that rifle out of state because he couldn't purchase it in the state of New York because he was too young, and there's tight controls on that. And he had been planning this. He had purchased a gun since before January, but he's been planning this attack since January of 2022. Um, why did he pick that place? Well, Buffalo is a predominantly black city for all intents and purposes, and he knew where to go. He knew what day, what time, where black folks go to do their thing and buy groceries or whatever. Where they were going to be, he could just as easily have waited until there was some athletic event, between black teams and then gone and shot up the bleachers. The point is, he had planned this. He had planned this. Now, what does that mean? What does that mean for you and I? What does that mean for black folks in this country? Um, this kid, the manifesto was both anti-black and anti-Semitic, according to what the FBI is releasing in dribbles and drabs. Were there other people that encouraged him? Probably. Did he talk to other people? Probably. That will come out. But I personally think that he was just a lone wolf kind of kid and decided this is something that he felt he needed to do. No different in my mind than Timothy McVeigh, who blew up the federal building and killed all of those 200 some people, including little babies and young children who were in daycare at the time. These kind of evils are out there. There are people who want to do this. What does that mean? Well, I'm going to say that it's a call to arms for us. It's a call to arms for us. It's not a call to disarm us. Now, let's talk about what happened in that attack. And this is kind of typical. Guy rolls in, gets out of his vehicle, and he targets the first things that are closest to him. He knew how to run his gun. The security guard, who, by the way, was supposedly a trained police officer, either retired or off duty, I don't remember which. And the attacker takes him out, first thing, takes him out. And that's what happened here in Boise, Idaho. Security guard goes up and the bad guy targets the security guard first thing. A uniformed security person is insufficient to protect people inside those venues, whether it's a security officer in a school or whether it's a rent-a-cop in a store or in a mall. That is insufficient to really stop this person, because the security guard engaged him. Security guard was wearing level 3A armor, which only stops pistol rounds. It will not stop any rifle rounds. And the kid was shooting a rifle. He knew that. Now, he goes inside and kills a few more people, shoots a few more people, then stops for whatever reason, don't know, goes back outside, has a gun to his head so the cops can see, and then instead of shooting himself in the head, he kneels down, puts the gun down, takes his body armor off, because he had body armor on, and lays down, and then he gets apprehended. Right? Why? Because he has a story to tell. He has a story to tell. In the meantime, what do you do? What do you do as citizens, specifically black citizens, or anybody who goes out in the world where there are crowds and gatherings, right? You become armed. Now, this kid, let's say that there were metal detectors in front of the store. He still would have killed everybody that he could in the parking lot. You understand what I'm saying? People that want to do these things are going to do these things. They're just going to do these things. So this is a call to arms for everyone. For everyone. And if you live in a place like the state of New York, which is gun-free, right? I don't know what to tell you. Now, hopefully, the U.S. Supreme Court will rule that the state of New York becomes a shall issue concealed carry state. And then all of you black folks that live in the state of New York that are legal to buy a gun can get a concealed carry permit. Now, what happens after that, I don't know, right? I don't know. But it's a call to arms, right? It is a call to arms. And how many of these people are out there? And when will be the next one? When will be the next one? When will be the one where some guy goes in and shoots up a synagogue again? We don't know. We don't know. Now let's talk about you walking around in the world. You're not going to be walking around with a long gun, one that looks weird. And it's just, you're not going to be doing that. You know, you're not going to be walking around as if on every corner there's some bad guy that's getting ready to draw down on you. But if enough of those people in that store were armed, the fire they could have put on this kid would have stopped him. Would have stopped him. Um, how many would have been saved? We don't know. But he would have been stopped. Probably, probably if he knew that there were, concealed carry people somewhere, he might not even decide to do that. But because he lives in the state of New York, or he was in the state of New York, he knew that the probability that anyone other than a cop would have shot him. Now, he goes out again, gun to his head, right? The police cannot shoot him because that would be classified as an extrajudicial execution by state forces. But a civilian is not constrained by that. Civilians could have just walked up to him and shot him in the fucking head and he'd be dead. But the press would hate that because where's the story? Who's going to get the exclusive interview with this kid? His family. All of that's going to come out. Come back again. This is a call to arms. Arm yourself. Get trained. Be ready. Now, I want to thank you for coming to the channel this morning. If you like the content, please subscribe. Hit the bell icon. And as always, thanks for watching, and please carry on.